Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I would like to share with you a fantastic game played by the 11th world chess champion Robert James Fischer. His opponent is Pal Benko, and the game was played at 1963-64 US Championship. This is that same tournament during which Bobby Fischer scored a perfect score, winning all 11 games. This game was played in round 10, and now without further ado, let's go for it and see what happened on the board. Fischer had white pieces and he opened up with e4 and g6 by Benko. Benko chooses the modern defense, which can later be transformed into well-known Pirc defense. d4, bishop g7, knight c3, d6 and f4. Fischer is choosing the Austrian attack, knight f6, knight f3. Black castles kingside, bishop d3 and bishop g4. Not the best continuation. According to modern theory, knight a6 is considered to be the best move, and then black can proceed with c5, or knight c6 is also very popular, but in our game we have bishop g4, h3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight c6, bishop e3 and e5. Black strikes white center, otherwise white might have advanced to e5. We have d takes e5, d takes e5 and f5. And in this position Pal Benko made a very dubious decision and captured on f5, which is weakening his king side too much. It was better to play knight d4. If queen f2, then b5 is strong, using the vulnerability of this e4 pawn. Although after g4 white has a very dangerous attack, but of course going for this line is better than capturing on f5. We have queen takes f5, knight d4, queen f2. Of course capturing on e5 can be dangerous, because after knight g4, queen f4, knight takes e3, queen takes e3, black can announce a check from h4, and then after g3, queen h5, black has a compensation for the sacrificed pawn. That's why after knight d4 we have queen f2. Now comes knight e8, and Fischer castles kingside. Of course he could have also gone for castling queenside, but this looks a bit safer and doesn't allow black to create counter-attacking chances. Knight d6 by Benko, queen g3, already the threat is bishop h6, that's why we have king h8, queen g4, this time Fischer is bringing his queen on h5 square, c6 and queen h5. Right now the threat is bishop takes d4 followed by e5 in order to open up the bishop's diagonal. Black responded with queen e8, which is losing on the spot. It was better to move back the knight, but in our game we have queen e8. Here Fischer captured on d4, and after e takes d4 he made one of the most beautiful moves of his career. You can pause the video and try to find his next move. Ready? Well, now look, if you play e5 and create a mating threat, then black can respond with f5. Your queen is hanging and you can't capture en passant. That was the reason of bringing the queen on e8 square, and if queen takes e8, simply knight takes e8. That's why after e takes d4, Fischer went for a devastating rook f6 move. Look at this beauty. This beautiful shot stops black's only defense and limits f7, f5. This move has been rightly praised as the ultimate blocking tactic and is known as block. A very beautiful move, I think. And yes, already e5 is the threat. For example, if you accept the sacrifice, then e5 is coming and your king is in a mating net. There is no escape. Black king is getting checkmated. That's why after rook f6, Benko responded with king g8 and simply e5 by Fischer with a direct mating threat. h6 a desperate attempt, although with this move black is also setting up a cheap trap. You can't capture on d6 because of this queen takes e5 move, although according to the engine, even in this case white is maintaining winning chances. But on the other hand, this gives black some chances of prolonging his resistance. That's why after h6, Fischer simply moved back his knight and finally Pal Benko resigned. Right now the knight is hanging. At some point there can be rook takes h6 ideas, and yes, black is in trouble. You can't even move away your knight because in this case the queen will come on f5 square. According to the engine, the best move is c5, but after rook takes h6 the game is simply over. If bishop takes h6 then queen takes h6, if f5 then queen takes d6. Yes, this is a total destruction. That's why after knight e2 black resigned. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this game. For more games, consider subscribing to my channel. Also press the bell button to get notified about new uploads. I will see you in my next video.